It's going to be interesting on Thursday night. That's all I can say. It's going to be very, very interesting what happens. Hey guys, good afternoon and welcome back to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Hope everyone so far is having a fantastic Monday afternoon. Hope everyone's looking forward to the rest of their day. And hope everyone's looking forward to the rest of this brand new week in April 2023 this year. First of all, do me a massive favour for me, hit the like button, hit the share button, hit the subscribe button if you're new to the channel. That is United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Please subscribe to the channel and the community if you are new, and to share the video. Hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button. Remember to put that notification bell on at all times to receive dedicated content right throughout the rest of 2023 on United Red Devils 20 on YouTube for more Fortnite content, Hogwarts Legacy, Kingdom Hearts 4, Football Manager, FIFA 23 Career Mode, and much more brand stuff planned for the rest of this year in 2023 on United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. So please subscribe to the channel and the community if you are new. And good afternoon to all of you legendary people. And welcome to the preview, the UEFA Europa League quarter-final second leg preview between Sevilla and Manchester United on Thursday evening, on Thursday the 20th of April 2023. The second leg of the UEFA Europa League quarter-final second leg, 8 p.m. evening away kickoff for Man United in the Europa League. And this game is probably going to be the nervous night Manchester United fans are going to be predicting and hoping for. This second leg tie is all to play for. Let's not beat around the bush about it. This second leg is going to be interesting to see where this game swings and goes, because I tell you what, this Man United game is going to be difficult for Manchester United. It's going to be difficult for Sevilla. It's all level on aggregate on 2-2. Manchester United threw away the 2-0 aggregate lead in the first leg at Old Trafford, and now we've got to head to Spain on Thursday night at the Ramon Sanchez Stadium, and we've got to beat Spanish club Sevilla, who currently sit 13th in La Liga, probably having their worst La Liga season ever in their football club's history. And Man United simply have to find a way to win and get the second leg result over and done with and get ourselves into the UEFA Europa League semi-finals on Thursday night. We cannot afford to go out of Europe. We need to win the Europa League. It's a European trophy that Man United need to win this season. It's a competition I still do believe Manchester United will get over the line and win with. But at the end of the day, Manchester United are up against between a rock and a hard place at the moment due to the amount of injuries, suspensions and fatigue this current first team and squad has currently got. Manchester United are in a really bad space of injuries. The amount of injured players we've got out at the moment is a complete joke. And I feel sorry for the manager, Erik ten Hag, that he's having to use the same squad that played yesterday on Sunday evening to beat Nottingham Forest 2-0 at the City Ground. That most of that first team that played against Nottingham Forest are going to have to be sacrificed, and they're going to have to be used yet again on Thursday night due to the fact that Erik ten Hag hasn't got the squad available he wants. He hasn't got players back fit that he needs. And the players who've got out at the moment injured is the usual old suspects, that the same old players keep picking up the same old injuries time after time. And for me, this is a nothing change situation. The amount of injuries at this football club has never changed since Solskjaer and Ralph Rangnick days. And unfortunately, the fixture schedule that Man United have currently got is a complete joke. 3 games in 6 days is a complete joke by the Football League, the FA, the Premier League, UEFA and FIFA. Due to the amount of fixture congestion these clubs are facing this season, there's no need to keep playing Thursday night football in Europa League when, if you've got the Champions League on a Tuesday and Wednesday night, surely the Europa League and the UEFA Europa Conference League could be played on the same night as well. And I feel sorry for this team because at the moment, Man United are basically getting by with what they've got. They're having to use the same players week in, week out due to the injuries this club has currently got. And I don't see where Man United are going to be able to make much rotation and make much squad changes for the game against Sevilla Thursday night. I think most of that team that played yesterday, unfortunately, are going to have to play again on Thursday due to the amount of injuries we've got. And it's not an excuse. We have got so many injuries, but we've got to find a way of winning that game and getting through to the semi-finals of the Europa League, because I feel like if we go out the Europa League, it's just going to be another disaster of a season for Man United. So far, we've only won 1 trophy. We've only won the Carabao Cup. And for me, that is still not good enough as a season under a new manager. I do expect a lot more out of this squad because we've got the players, we've got the squad depth, and we've got the quality in that team to be able to do it. But with most of the team out injured, you're having to rely on the backup options. What, Erik ten Hag really, in my opinion, doesn't really want to use. He doesn't really want to use players that he doesn't like, and he doesn't really want to use players that he feels aren't good enough to represent in a Man United shirt. And I do agree that some of these fringe players are being given a lifeline now to be given a chance to be at Man United next season. And that bigger picture does worry me, because if half these players that are here this season are still here next season, I don't think this football club's going to change. This leopard won't change its spots, and Man United are going to be in exactly the same situation they were in last season. And the problem is that if half this squad doesn't play well on Thursday, we will go out the Europa League, we'll be out, and unfortunately it'll be another European trophy that Manchester United have bottled. And I feel like, if we would have finished Sevilla off in the first leg, which we should have done, we could have won that game easily 3-4, 5-0 with the amount of chances we had in Sevilla's penalty area. And on the Sevilla goal, there was a huge opportunity missed for Man United, and they've basically paid the price from the first leg, bottling a 2-0 lead that they should have won. And basically, this game should have been done and dusted for the second leg, but every fingernail is going to be bitten to the core, and the nerves and the tension is going to be there on Thursday night, as well as the anxiety and the worry that Man United could potentially go out the Europa League. I don't personally think we can go out the Europa League. We've got to win on Thursday. It would be a failure if we get knocked out, because we've done so well in Europe this season. The amount of great goals and the great results that has achieved under Erik ten Hag in the first season of the Europa League as the new manager of this. And I feel like it's only a massive progression if we win on Thursday night. It's going to be a tough game. Sevilla away is always a tough place to go, and it's always a tough result to get a win from. And Man United know that they're going to have to up their game severely on Thursday night, and they realise they're going to have to play out of their skins to somehow get a result that we need to get through to the semi-finals. And I do feel like, if these players do step up and they put a performance in of a lifetime that we can be proud of, Man United should come out of this with the win. They should come out of this with the semi-final place guaranteed and booked. And hopefully we can then get through to that Europa League final, which is I think it's in May or June, but it depends on if this squad is up for the task of being able to play week in, week out due to the amount of injuries we've got. And if you look at the injuries we've got at the moment, obviously we've still got Donny van de Beek out injured with a severe ankle injury, which is an ACL injury in his ankle, which is, a rest of the season injury that has basically ended Donny van de Beek's season with Manchester United yet again. And another player that has been massively unlucky with injuries and has never been given a proper opportunity to be able to step up in that Man in that midfield. And, that injury rocked the midfield, and it's only made the midfield a lot worse without Donny van de Beek's quality in it. So obviously Donny van de Beek won't not feature on Thursday night. Obviously, if we then move on to the centre-back positions, obviously Lisandro Martinez has had to have ankle surgery on his snapped metatarsal, his fifth metatarsal to have gone in his ankle. So that is a season-ending injury again for Lisandro Martinez, probably been our best centre-back we've ever had since Rio Ferdinand and Nemanja Vidic, and he's out injured for the rest of the season. He's had to have surgery on that snapped metatarsal. That is a 2-month injury layoff, so Martinez won't be fit for Thursday. He's out for the rest of the season, so that's another big blow for the confidence of defence that we don't have at the moment with Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. And, those two fridge players at the back are more open in a fridge door. They will let Sevilla in, and I'm just worried about the amount of attacking quality Sevilla are going to show. And I think, Maguire and Lindelof are going to have to put a performance in of a lifetime to keep Sevilla out. But I personally feel like we are going to go out the Europa League. I can't see this club winning, but I've got to be optimistic. We've got to try and find a result, and we're going to have to try and find the goals on Thursday night to win overall on the match and overall on aggregate, because 2-2 on aggregate is not a safe lead. If Sevilla get the first goal, we've then got to find 2 more goals to get through and then even find a third to kill Sevilla off. We're going to have to start the game well like we did in the first leg when obviously Marcel Sabitzer put us 2-0 up. We were absolutely cruising. And then it could have been 3-4, 5-0 in the first half at Old Trafford. We paid the price. We didn't take our opportunities. We didn't get our conversion rate into the green. And unfortunately, we're sat here 2-1 on aggregate. And that's going to be nervous as hell to try and find a response to try and beat Sevilla away, because the Sevilla fans become their 12th man. They become their 12th man at their stadium, the Ramon Sanchez Stadium. And I feel like, Sevilla are going to be up for this. They know that they can beat Man United. And, Man United do concede goals, and you're going to have to hope that Man United come out of this unscathed, uninjured and unhurt. And you're going to have to hope this squad pulls through Thursday night and hopefully does win the game and produces a clean sheet as well. Because if we can keep a clean sheet and we can win 2-0, we're in the Europa League semi-final. But then obviously we face the prospect of having to play Juventus or Sporting Lisbon in the next round, and that is still not going to be easy. This is going to be a tough Europa League campaign to get through, and it's been tough already. If we would have won our group, I feel like Man United would have found this Europa League campaign a lot easier, but that was just because we couldn't beat Real Sociedad at home in our group, obviously due to massive debacle for a penalty that was given against Sandro Martinez when the ball hit his hand off his leg. So we're in the situation we are in now due to the fact that, we've been robbed this season. We have been given very unlucky decisions against us in Europa League. And, we are paying the ultimate price for it now. And, Thursday is just going to be interesting to see if this club can cope with the severe pressure. Can we win and get a bit against a Spanish team? Can we knock another Spanish team out of this competition? Because at the moment, all we face at the moment is Spanish clubs, and we've basically knocked every single one out. And I know Sevilla know that Man United are vulnerable at the back. They know they're going to be vulnerable in the midfield, and they know they're going to be vulnerable in the attack as well. And Man United simply have got to take their chances when they come on Thursday. And if we then carry on talking about the centre-backs, also we have, Rafael Varane is also out injured for the rest of the season. Well, with yet again another injury-prone centre-back that Real Madrid knew exactly what they were going to do with it, and they knew exactly when Varane up for sale. They knew as soon as Man United came in, Real Madrid bit their hand off and basically sold an injury-prone centre-back to us that can't keep himself fit more than a paper cut. And yet again, this is the same old crap that is surfacing, that Man United are buying players that are severely injury-prone, and Varane is out for the rest of the season with yet again another ankle injury to that ankle. That ankle seems to be becoming a more potential problem for Rafael Varane. And potentially his career at Man United is going to go and dwindle out very quickly. If the more injuries he picks up, the worse he's going to get as a centre-back. And I don't think the quality is there in Rafael Varane's game anymore. I've not seen it enough this season to convince me that this is the future for Varane to have a serious life at Man United for much longer. The more injuries to pick up, the more injury prone he's going to be. And I think you lose your two best centre-backs, you're basically stuck with Magaluf and Maguire and Lindelof for Thursday night. And it's unfortunate for Varane. If Varane wasn't injured, we might have been all right on Thursday. But you do worry about that defence severely with the quality it hasn't got in Harry Maguire. And it showed again yesterday in the 3rd minute, picking up a stupid yellow card for a stupid tackle was an absolute disgrace from a captain. That ain't no captain, ain't no leader, and he ain't someone you can get any confidence or positivity out of. And I don't understand why people are backing players like Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof. Either of them are both basically crap. Their game is unbelievably awful, and basically both can't defend. And I can't understand why people say that, Victor Lindelof is a massive better centre-back than Harry Maguire, but when you play both of them together, they are both as awful as each other. And I feel like as a whole, that isn't going to help Thursday, because we may have kept a clean sheet against Nottingham Forest yesterday, but playing Nottingham Forest compared to Sevilla, it's night and day. It's a different kettle of fish. Nottingham Forest, are fighting for relegation for the Premier League. They are fighting to stay up in the Premier League this season, and Sevilla are also fighting to stay up in the Liga. And only time will tell that, if these players can be able to do the job they are capable of on Thursday. And will that same team play what I played against Nottingham Forest yesterday? I don't know. I haven't got a clue what team we're going to be able to go with. I have no clue what team we're going to be able to pick, because, due to the injuries we've got, Ten Hag is basically having to work with what he's got left. And I feel sorry, because we're then having to rely on academy and youth players being called up to the squad who have not even made one single appearance for this club, that some of these youth and academy player prospects are basically nowhere near good enough anyway. So I can't understand why we're having to call them up, but then I can understand why in some aspects, because we haven't got the squad available, we haven't got the players available, and Ten Hag's basically clutching at straws on who to put in the squad and who not to put in the team. So it's only a matter of time that, Eric Ten Hag has to find a way of getting results with the squad he's got left. And if he can do it yesterday, we can beat Sevilla on Thursday night. I do feel like, if we can start the game well like we did in the first leg, there's no reason why not. Man United can't start this game convincingly, but if the Sevilla get the early goal and then they go on and find a second, United are basically out anyway on aggregate. So I feel like if Man United were to go 2 or 3-0 down, we're not finding a way back in that second leg, and we'll be out of the Europa League. And it will be a massive disappointment to Eric Ten Hag to go out of Europe, but maybe it's for the best to sacrifice a competition that we don't really need to win, but we kind of do need to win, because, top 4 is still not secured. UEFA Champions League football, its qualification hasn't been secured yet, but it looks like we're closing in on it. So it's only a matter of time where Man United's morales are. Is it to keep winning in the FA Cup? Is it to win the FA Cup? Is it to get through to the final? Do we have to go win the Europa League? I don't know what the objectives is at Man United season. It is to get top 4 and win all the other 2 trophies we're in, but it depends on this squad. And I think this squad is showing that the fatigue is setting in, the injuries are setting in, and the suspensions we've picked up as well is another massive blow on Thursday, because due to the pure fact that if you then move on to that midfield, we've got no Bruno Fernandes, we've got no Scott McTominay, and we've got no Donny van der Beek, and it looks like we've got no Marcel Sabitzer either, which I feel massively sorry for Marcel Sabitzer, because he played so well in the first leg against Sevilla at Old Trafford, got both the goals. He scored three goals in like 4 games, and yesterday pulls up with injury before kick-off against Nottingham Forest, and it looks like Sabitzer's also going to be out injured as well. So that's another major blow for this football club, that another quality midfield addition that, you know, Sabitzer has brought in since the January transfer window when we signed him on loan from Bayern Munich, that we've signed such a quality midfielder, and to lose him to injury is a massive fucking blow for Ten Hag, because he has done so well. He has settled in so quickly into that team, and the quality and the dimension, the attacking quality, and, you know, the sophistication Sabitzer's brought into that midfield is second to none. And I was absolutely gutted, because I was so excited to see Sabitzer play against Nottingham Forest yesterday, because he's one of my favourite players. I love Marcel Sabitzer, and I hope, you know, we sign him permanently in the summer. But to lose him to injury is just another massive blow for Ten Hag's injury crisis. I mean, that hospital's got more injured players in it than injured players at Man United. So it doesn't really change that, you know, we are suffering so many injuries due to the amount of games we're having to play, and it ain't fair. It's unacceptable, and I do feel like we need to sit down at the end of the season. UEFA, FIFA, the Premier League, the FA, the Football League need to have a massive conversation in a meeting and say, look, we need to start caring more about these players. We need to start caring more about the squad situations and injuries and suspensions clubs are picking up, because I think they need to move the Europa League to a Wednesday night or a Tuesday night, and the Europa Conference League has to do the same. But it'll be about, there's not enough security in there to play all these matches on one night, when that's completely and utterly a load of bollocks, when they just don't want to make the effort to change things around, but yet they're happy to change the UEFA Champions League format next season and scrap the group stage. So it's only a matter of time what happens with Manchester United. But, you know, Bruno Fernandes, who picked up a pathetic yellow card, which shouldn't have even been a yellow card in the first place, makes him unavailable due to suspension for the second leg. And I feel like that midfield is going to be rocking badly on Thursday night, because if you haven't got McTominay and you haven't got Fernandes and you haven't got Sabitzer, we've basically got no midfield left. And that is a major bloody worry, that we are still going to have so many players out Thursday who we are desperately needing in that team for the quality they had, and it simply isn't there. And does that midfield pick itself? And think, you know, I think Casemiro will probably start anyway, because he did play very well against Nottingham Forest yesterday. Didn't have his best game. He was okay, but I don't think he was brilliant. And then obviously the return of Eriksen, obviously the impact of Eriksen yesterday was crucial towards that win. And I think, you know, to be called up to the squad at the last minute due to Marcel Sabitzer's injury was a master stroke from Erik ten Hag to say, look, we've got a world-class backup in Eriksen here to give Sabitzer the rest that I think he does actually deserve. But these players are getting injured because they're having to play so much. That is not the manager's fault. You can't pinpoint that at Erik ten Hag. It's not his fault that, you know, he's got a crap squad that's got no squad depth and got no quality in. So you can't blame Erik ten Hag. You can't blame the manager. It's not the manager's fault that this squad is in the position it is in. It is down to the pure fact that we haven't had the quality we were promised in the January transfer window. We didn't have a summer transfer window good last year in 2022. And people have basically got on the hype train saying, well, Erik ten Hag has been backed. He has been delivered players. He has been given the players he's wanted. Well, that's completely and utterly untrue when there are 5 or 6 players, you know, Erik ten Hag wanted at Man United. United failed to deliver them. And this is the situation Manchester United have got themselves in when you don't back a manager that's got huge potential to take Manchester United back to the top. And unfortunately, it simply hasn't been delivered to a manager that I think actually deserves it. And, you know, that midfield is going to be so fucking weak without Fernandes, because that is basically our main leader. That is the main captain in our team. And if you looked at a phenomenal world-class, masterclass performance in that midfield just against Nottingham Forest, the quality Fernandes offers in that team, the leadership skills, the quality, the technique, the instructions, the leadership, the skills. You look at that player in Fernandes, and that is basically the guy who you get so much confidence from as a captain. And really, Harry Maguire shouldn't be captain anymore. That armband really should have been taken off Harry Maguire. That armband should have been put on Bruno Fernandes' arm. And then Bruno Fernandes was unlucky not to have a world-class goal. Yes, I mean, he was unlucky through that superb, Navas save to keep Fernandez's shot out. But that is the player we are going to be lacking the quality from. Fernandez is going to be such a massive miss on Thursday night. And I think, Man United should have appealed that yellow card decision. It was clearly not a yellow card. The referees we've been given this season are a complete joke. And I feel like, VAR have been a complete joke as well this season as well. The referees and VAR this season have probably, for me, had their worst season ever. The standard of refereeing is absolutely shocking. The VAR has made football worse. I don't feel like it's actually added any beneficial dedication to the sport. I think it's actually ruining football. And whatever they're teaching referees in training and all these coaching courses, this referees we get are a joke this season. It showed yesterday, and it showed in the first leg against Sevilla, that the quality of refereeing this season for me has probably been its worst it's ever been. I feel like the decisions are not being made properly. I think the referees have got their heads in the clouds, and they are too afraid to give big decisions to the bigger teams. They're always in favour of the smaller teams getting the bigger and better decisions for their quality of their game. But United need to, stop, using excuses that we need to simply go out there and put performance in that. I think the fans and supporters need to have on Thursday. We need to keep on winning, which we're doing. We've now gone and beaten, I think it's either 4 or 5 games in a row. So I think it'll be 5 on Thursday. So we've not lost since the Newcastle game. So Man United have found some kind of improvement for the last few games. And it showed that, once we lose one game, there's a massive impact of a comeback. And United seem to go on this long unbeaten run of not losing any games. But will it come too much on Thursday? Only time will tell with the squad we've got. I mean, if we don't play well, we will lose that game, and United will be at the Europa League. There'll be no excuses if we go out on Thursday night. But I do find United will find a way to somehow get themselves out of this mess, get that aggregate lead back, and go to Sevilla and play some fucking good football. We've got no excuses not to go there and try. United have to step up to the plate, and we've got the players to do it. It just depends on Manchester United as a whole. Can we do it can United do it? Is the big question I would ask myself. That United have got the players to do it. They've got the quality to do it. It depends if these players really want to step up to the plate and show that they've got the charisma and the attitude and the positivity, the confidence to be able to win this Europa League. And if we win the Europa League, we are back in the Champions League, which is a great satisfaction for all Manchester United fans. We're back at Europe's top table next season, which will be another positive sign of commitment from Manchester United. But we have to play well first of all. We can't just go there and be too cocky and, pay too much respect to Sevilla. I feel like in the last few results, we've paid way too much respect to the opposition, and we've let the opposition attack us. We really need to stop doing that style of play. We really need to be full out of attack. We trap back, we defend together, we attack together. That is what Manchester United really should be doing. We've got the team to do it. And I feel like, Ten Hag will give it a massive debrief of, this is what I want on Thursday. This is what I expect from you. This is the performance I want. You're going to have to come to Sevilla with me, and we have to win together or we lose together. That has to be the mentality. That has to be the attitude. Man United need to put a performance that, is going to be worth it of getting through to the semi-finals Europa League. And, we are lacking quality. There's no excuses. That team has missing so many players at the moment. But at the end of the day, with the players we've got left at this current moment, it's going to be interesting that, you beat Nottingham Forest, but can you really step up against a bigger European team? I mean, no disrespect to Nottingham Forest, their fans, their players, their supporters, their manager, the coaching staff. But, Nottingham Forest compared to Sevilla is chalk and cheese at the end of the day. Nottingham Forest, are, like I said, trying to step in the Premier League. Sevilla are trying to step in the Liga. So we're kind of the same pattern from our last two opponents. Both teams are trying to survive in their respective divisions. And quality will be delivered if Man United are up for this. And, I feel like, at the end of the day, Man United have got a job to do. They've got a result to deliver. They've got to get a win that we need. We just need there to go and score a few good goals, get the aggregate lead back up, get the overall score of the night in the lead as well. And everything should be fine. But, nothing's typically right with Man United sometimes. And you expect them to win a game of football, and then all of a sudden results go pear-shaped, things go backwards. And Man United are anywhere near the problems that we have become. I mean, we are a better team with this manager. We are a better team with some of these players in it and out of it. And, will that impact of not having Fernandez impact the team? I think it will. I do feel like that the leadership and the quality and the attitude will not be there in that midfield without Fernandez. And Like, I can't understand why Man United didn't appeal that ridiculous yellow card decision. We should have appealed it to UEFA. It was never a yellow card. We've missed out on the quality midfielder actually playing in a Man United team on Thursday night. We are lacking that player that we need that makes that midfield light up like a Christmas tree. And I feel like, that is what is going to be the big, big, massive miss on Thursday, that without Fernandes, can that midfield do the job? Well, of course it can, but if Casemiro's having to play at CDM, who do you then play at next to Eriksen if Fernandes and Sabitzer ain't available? And if will you have to risk playing Scott McTominay if he's not fully fit and he's only just come back from injury? I mean, I don't even know what injury Scott McTominay has even picked up. No one's actually got any inside info. No one's actually not even said what is wrong with Scott McTominay at the moment. It seems to keep picking up more injuries in a bloody paper cut. And I said this about Scott McTominay years and years ago. He's never going to be the midfielder Manchester United want. He's never going to be the quality that we need in that midfield three. And people hype him up like a train. And unfortunately, the Scott McTominay hype train is massively derailed again due to the massive injuries he keeps picking up in a Man United team. Scott McTominay can't be trusted. I wouldn't start Scott McTominay next to Eriksen, and I wouldn't start Fred next to Eriksen as well, but we may have no choice because if Sabitzer is out for weeks and Fernandes is suspended, I don't know what Erik ten Hag is meant to do. He's going to have to go with a squad that can fulfil results, can fulfil fixtures, and put a team out that, can actually win a game of football. He's got to go out there and say, look, we are where we are because of the amount of games we're playing. We are where we are because of the way you lot have been performing as a team. And we are where we are because, the amount of games we're having to play in 3 days. I know it's a joke. I know it's unfair, lads, but we can't keep using that as an excuse. I know it's unfair and it's not right for Manchester United because you don't see other teams and managers moaning about it. But at the end of the day, this situation is severe at Man United that the players out we have got out, that is probably going to cost us majorly on Thursday. And, will Scott McTominay and, also Luke Shaw both be available? Because, what is going on with Luke Shaw? I mean, God knows what's going on with Luke Shaw. Is he picked up that hamstring injury? Is it a groin injury? No one's even said what is wrong with Luke Shaw. So it might be the same back four it was yesterday. Will they put Wan-Bissaka at right back and Diego Dalot at left back? Because, that is probably the only right backs and left backs we've got. And unfortunately, that's not fair on the manager yet again, that he's having to put players out of position that don't belong in those positions because, Luke Shaw is massively injury prone. I've been saying this about Luke Shaw for years, and they've gone and given him a brand new 4-year contract that to an injury prone player that doesn't deserve and is not justified. And I don't think that's been a fair decision being made by the football club to give an injury prone player like Luke Shaw a new contract. And if he's not fit for Thursday, you're going to have to risk them playing Diego Dalot left back. That, he did have a good game. He had an okay game, Diego Dalot, but still, I'm not hyped that he's the right back that we need and he's not the future, I think, at right back that we Man United are looking for. I still think there are better right backs out there than what Manchester United have currently got. And I could name 4 or 5 better right backs than Diego Dalot, not just across Europe, but in the Premier League as well. And I feel like, if you've got to play Diego Dalot at left back on Thursday, he's going to have to deploy it and it's going to have to somehow work and come out on top because it did work to a tick in the box yesterday, but you can't keep deploying that at left back every game because it's not his preferred position. I mean, he had an okay game. He wasn't brilliant, but at least he deployed the position. He made it his own for one game. So, Dalot has got an opportunity to, probably get even more game time in the next few games because, Luke Shaw is injured. And then you've got the also injury to Malacia. I mean, I cannot believe Malacia played against Sevilla in the first leg on Thursday night. And all of a sudden, he's now injured, which makes no sense how Malacia has also picked up, yet again, another injury. And I said this about Malacia as well. He's more injury prone than Luke Shaw. And people hyping up thinking he's the left back that this club needs. He's a left back for this club's future. He's a left back this football club's been crying out for. He cannot be trusted. He isn't available for Thursday night, again, due to his injuries that he can't seem to keep down. And people wonder why I moan about the left back and the right back situation, because we haven't got any decent left backs. We haven't got any decent right backs. And this is the big, big fucking problem that this club doesn't want to resolve. And it's not fair. This is why we have such bad performances in the back four. The right back and the left back, as well as the 2 centre backs, are costing this team. We haven't got the back four we want on Thursday. We haven't got Varane. We ain't got Martinez. We ain't got Luke Shaw. We ain't got Malacia. And that's the big problem. You don't have a strong back four. This club is fucked. Literally, this club is screwed. We haven't got the players we need. We haven't got the players we want. We haven't got the squad depth. And it's true. I'm honest. I'm going to be truthful and honest as ever. That is what I've been brought up to be. Be truthful and be as honest as ever. And honesty is always the best policy. If you're not happy with something at the club, you've got to call it out for what it is. And that is due to the fact that some of those players shouldn't even be at this football club. And yet they've been given another chance to prove themselves. Malacia should have never been brought. Luke Shaw should have been sold years ago. And now Man United are yet again giving players new contracts that are more injury prone than Phil Jones, new contracts for the next 4 or 5 years. And half those years of their contract, they're out injured half the bloody season. And it's not a surprise that we're in the situation we're in. And it does need to wake up a little bit. It's like Man United have gone back into a coma. It's like they've gone back into a big, massive, deep sleep. And they've fallen back into their old ways. It's like watching Gordon Ramsay's Kitchen Nightmares USA. The owner's in complete denial. The food is shit. The service is awful. And he doesn't want to change his restaurant. They make a few changes. Then the owner of that restaurant goes back into his old ways and goes into complete fucking denial. That's the problem at Man United. We are in denial of the players we're giving contracts to. We are in denial of the squad players we've got. This squad is shit. And if you haven't got McTominay available in midfield, and you haven't got Fernandes, who obviously suspended, and then Sabitzer ain't fit, that midfield three, I probably could pick in my sleep. What they'll do, they'll put Fred next to Eriksen and deploy him in the midfield attack into. They'll deploy Casemiro at CDM. You're looking at midfield and you basically think you've gone back to playing Fred. And I'm not being funny. I prefer Fred over McTominay, but long term, Fred is not the answer this club should really be going for. Fred is never going to be the answer for the backup to Sabitzer or Fernandes. It's not the answer. Sabitzer is going to have to find a way of getting fit, but I know Ten Hag will not want to risk having Sabitzer injured if he's not fully fit for Thursday night for the second leg against Sevilla. It is a blow. It is bad for the club, and it is a massive blow because, you know, we've also got no Alejandro Garnacho, and no one's even mentioned what type of injury he's got. Nothing's come out of the football club saying what injury Garnacho has suffered, and no one's even come out even said, you know, how long Garnacho's even going to be out for. So that's yet again another massive blow, an attacking option that I think would have had to start the game on Thursday, because if you look at that front three at the moment, that front three yesterday, the only decent player we had in that front attacking three was Anthony. The only one that offered any kind of spark or excitement or electricity on that right wing, because of the quality player Anthony was brought in from Ajax. And you're still seeing that same player at Ajax at Man United now, and Anthony, the only decent forward player this club at the moment has actually got. Because if you look at the rest of them, Alanga's not going to get any game time. He ain't good enough. And Alanga shouldn't even be playing for this football club. And if the rumours are true that we want to sell him permanently, please fucking do it. He's never going to be the player you want. He's never going to improve. He's never going to be the player that a football club is looking for. And if that's a problem for fans to deal with, get fucking over it. Alanga is massively overrated, massively overhyped, and he's a flop. He's a massive Premier League flop. He's more of a flop than Mudryk at Chelsea. He's absolutely an atrocious footballer who can't play the game simply for what Erik ten Hag is crying out for in that attacking front three. And that's the problem. If you then look at the rest of the front three, Sancho, what is going on with his game? I don't even know. He goes on his own individual training program in Holland, in the Netherlands, away from the Man United team, away from Erik ten Hag, has come back and looks like exactly the complete shadow of Jadon Sancho from last season. And he's still getting selected. But that's the problem. Erik ten Hag is having to select Jadon Sancho because Marcus Rashford might not even be fit for Thursday. And I said this about Marcus Rashford. Injury prone. Why is he still at the football club? You need to realise we need to start getting fitter footballers that can actually keep themselves fit and healthy and actually cannot stop picking injuries up, because this is the big problem. Sancho's only in that Man United team at the moment due to the fact Pellistri ain't going to make it at Man United. Ahmad is ripping up the Championship at Sunderland. I would have recalled him off his loan by now, because Ahmad has got that much quality on that right wing and probably deserved the Young Player of the Year in the EFL Sky Bet Championship this season. So that's the only reason that, Sanchez in that team is because the options we want are simply not there. And as for Pellistri, well, he ain't going to make it Man United. And fans hype him up thinking, oh, Pellistri deserves a chance here. Let's put him in the team. Let's see what he can do. Pellistri is not going to make it. We should have never gone anywhere near players like Pellistri and Ahmad, who are never going to get a chance at United because they're not going to be able to live up to the hype and the expectation that is going to be wanted at Manchester United Football Club. We need to realise that we are hyping up the wrong players that people think are honestly going to have a future. They're not. We haven't got the hype. We haven't got the quality this team is looking for. And like I said about Jadon Sancho, we carry on about that. Look, he hasn't got it in him. At the moment, he just looks like a complete shadow of the player. I looked at last season, he was still shocking then. And I was having this conversation with my parents. I was like, what the hell is going wrong with Jadon Sancho? He doesn't look like the player. He looks like a Borussia Dortmund. He's come here for big money. And he simply can't do the job I think this club is looking for. And that, for me, is the big, massive red flag there. You paid so much money, and all of a sudden, Jadon Sancho, he can't take players on. He can't do a job on that left wing. And when he tries to take players on, he then loses the ball. He loses possession, and then the team from the opposition then counter-attack, and then we're up against the wall. So it's debate about what is going to happen to the life of Jadon Sancho at Man United. He's going to have to somehow find some kind of gear to get into and put that gear into neutral and try and find some kind of form that is going to be able to deliver on that left wing. Because if Sancho plays on first night and is dreadful again, I don't know what the future lies. Do we sell him in the summer? Is he good enough to be at Manchester United? Or really, would you terminate his contract? I mean, I don't think it will come to that. But at the moment, Sancho doesn't seem to be able to do what we're looking for. He's not being able to deliver that what Ten Hag wants. And like I said a few weeks ago, if the comments are true that Ten Hag is getting massively frustrated with Jadon Sancho, I really couldn't blame him. I really couldn't. I really couldn't, because Sancho is not living up to his price tag. He's not living up to the expectation. And it's simply, whenever he tries and delivers on the Man United shirt, the same old crap performances in the last few games. Since the Brentford game, Sancho has been absolutely nowhere near the quality I think this team is looking for. He was shit against Everton, and everyone got hyped about him because basically two Everton players ran into each other, and apparently Jadon Sancho got past both of them, even though the Everton players both ran into each other. And everyone got on that hype train, and look what's happened to it. Sancho has lived off that hype and has got his ego right up his own ass again, and simply can't deliver every week in, week out for Man United in games. And it's simply true. If he's shit on Thursday, please just do yourself a favour. Sell him and buy a decent backup. I would rather go and get Alan St. Maxim at Newcastle than have Jadon Sancho on that left wing at the moment, because St. Maxim for me at the moment is on another level. He's world class. He's a great Newcastle player. Newcastle don't renew his contract. I would be all fucking over that, because he's a quality player this team, in my opinion, is crying out for. And if Man United do not go get Alan St. Maxim, I think that is just naive management. That is naive negotiating. That is a naive way of trying to operate a football club, that you're going to miss out on a quality player like Alan St. Maxim, who would probably at the moment would get straight into that United team, and Sancho would be back on the bench, where I think, in my opinion, he does actually belong. I personally do think that is where Sancho belongs, on that bench, but we haven't got, the backups for Sancho. Pellistri ain't ready, Alanga ain't good enough, and for the rest of that bench, I mean, fucking hell, that's like walking into a supermarket and you're getting food that is, the sell-by dates are running out and you've only got 1 day left to use it. That's the situation at Man United. And as for that bloody strike force, Martial, yet again, is showing the frustration I saw last season and the season before that, actually. Martial is done at this football club. I would not keep him at Man United next season. If Martial is still a Man United player next season, I utterly give up, because at the moment, yes, they get Nottingham Forest. He gets one shot off goal, which he really should have buried, and can't put the ball in the net. Was dreadful against Nottingham Forest yesterday. Had a clear opportunity on goal to make it 2 and 3-0, and he's injury prone, and was dragged off because basically he was shit. And he started that game yesterday due to the fact Rashford is injured. The only reason Sancho and Martial are in that team at the moment is because Rashford is injured. That's the only reason why both of them have got a place in that Man United team. And at the moment, Martial is simply not delivering the answers Ten Hag wants. And it showed yesterday, can't put the ball in net, got no speed, keeps playing the ball backwards all the time, can't get forward with the ball, takes on too many runs and loses the ball and possession, just like Jadon Sancho. Sancho and Martial are basically the same player at the moment. They're both fucking useless, and I wouldn't start them Thursday. But yet again, we've probably got no bloody choice because Rashford is not available, Garnacho is not available. And then, do you know what? It wouldn't surprise me if they somehow start Weghorst on Thursday. It would not bloody surprise me. Wout Weghorst has probably been the worst ever signing this football club has ever made in their lifetime. He's up there with Jack Butland for me. Weghorst has been a complete, utter joke of a signing from day one. You saw yesterday, he's lucky he was not sent off for that deliberate smack in that Nottingham Forest player's face. He was lucky VAR agreed with the referee's yellow card decision. Because yesterday, Weghorst showed there is no quality in his game. He doesn't track back. He always plays the ball backwards. He's got no speed. He's making runs way too late and then misses the ball. Can't put the ball in it. His upper body strength is a joke, and he can't do the defensive job the striker can do. And people think Weghorst is actually the answer for the goal-scoring issues and that he's giving everything in his all for Man United in his shirt. No, absolutely not. Weghorst is shit. Absolutely a pathetic signing. We should have went nowhere near in the bloody first place. And it showed again yesterday. This was the answer from the board and the owners of this football club to bring in a player like that who's only scored, 2 goals in 15 games? Basically, he's nearly repeated his Burnley record of 2 goals in 20 games. And apparently, everyone was so hyped up when he scored against Real Betis in the first leg of the last 16. And now look, has he scored a goal since then? No. Has he started a game since then? No. Do you know why that is? Because he's shit. If people don't like it that these players get criticised and get called crap and everything, personally, I couldn't really care. Because at the end of the day, I'm entitled to my view. I'm entitled to my opinion. Half those players should not be starting in a Man United shirt on Thursday. Half that squad's not good enough. Half that squad cannot do it on a weekly basis. And for goal scoring record, fitness issues and injury record, half those players have been done for years and we are still shooting ourselves in the foot, giving players like that an opportunity to be long-term Manchester United players for the future. If Weghorst and Martial and Sancho start on Thursday, we will not beat Sevilla. We will be out of the Europa League and that'll be it for the rest of the European season. Will it be a blessing in disguise going out the Europa League? Absolutely not. I don't want to go out the Europa League. I actually want to win the Europa League. But at the moment, the team that probably played yesterday in De Gea, Wan-Bissaka, Maguire, Lindelof, Dalot, probably Eriksen, hopefully Sabitzer if he's fit, Casemiro, and then front three will probably be Anthony, Sancho and Martial, because at the moment, that is the only team Ten Hag's got available to him. And if Sabitzer ain't fit, and God, if he ain't fit, it's basically back to Fred. Can you imagine Fred at centre attacking midfield position next to Eriksen? I mean, oh my God, we are in big, big trouble if we have to see that on Thursday. I don't see how Man United come out on top of this. I don't see how Man United win this game, but we've got to go for the juggler. We are going to have to go for it, and we are going to have to beat Sevilla somehow. We are going to have to go head-to-toe with Sevilla. That's the only way I can see Man United winning this game. We go and start the game well. We've played exactly how we played in the first leg at home at Old Trafford. Go 2-0 up, get that aggregate lead back on side, and we win that game and hold out for a clean sheet. That's the only way we win this game, and you're going to have to hope Man United deliver. But it would not surprise me if we don't win this game. It wouldn't surprise me if we are out of the Europa League Thursday evening. But, Man United can surprise all of us sometimes. I mean, what would I go scoreline prediction? I'm probably going to go 2-0 United. I do feel like we'll keep the clean sheet. Obviously, Sevilla are in a peculiar position in the league at the moment. They are fighting for their lives to stay up in the league this season and are fighting relegation. Sevilla shouldn't be where they are at the moment, but I'm going to go for 2-0 United. I feel like if we can play the way we did in the first leg and the first half, if we can play like that away in Spain against Sevilla in the second leg Thursday night, we should win this game. If we can then go on and find a third to kill the game off and keep the clean sheet, absolutely excellent. We'll be through to Europa League semi-finals and hopefully win another trophy under this manager. But with the squad out at the moment we've got and the players out injured that are out injured, I think it's going to be a miracle if we win this game Thursday night. But United sometimes surprise us. They do sometimes, surprise us for what results and wins they can come up with. But United know they need to deliver. They fucked up last Thursday, and like Ten Hag said, we fucked up last Thursday. We have to win it. Beat Sevilla Thursday night. So, hope you enjoyed the preview. Hit the like button, the share button. Please subscribe to the channel, United Red Devils 20 on YouTube if you are new to the channel community. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button. Go and check out my TikTok. Go and check out my Twitter. Go give me a follow on both of them, and also then, which will lead you, both of them will lead you right to United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. Subscribe to the channel there as well. Share the video, hit the tweet button, hit the retweet button, put the notification bell on as well at all times. So you've dedicated content right throughout the 2023 on United Red Devils 20 on YouTube. The Fortnite, Hogwarts Legacy, Kingdom Hearts 4, Formula 1 23, FIFA 23 Criminal with Man United, which we'll be doing later on this afternoon. So join me for that live stream as well. And then join me for the match reaction Thursday night, which hopefully is a Manchester United win. Hopefully we will have a place in the UEFA Europa League semi-finals booked and sealed, signed and delivered Thursday night. Join me for the match reaction Thursday night between Sevilla and Manchester United. And hopefully Manchester United will be in the UEFA Europa League semi-finals. Enjoy the rest of your Monday afternoon. Thanks for watching. You're all legends and you're all legendary in your own way. Stay safe, be nice, be kind to each other. Speak to you later on.